How can a crisp packet be a valid focus for A-level study? I'm Alaric Hall. I teach in the School of English at the University of Leeds, and we got sent round this list of questions, right, by different A-level examiners from English exam boards, both for English language and for English literature. And I looked at this list, and mostly despite being employed by the School of English, I mostly work on medieval Scandinavia. And there wasn't very much about medieval Scandinavia on these lists. I don't know why you're not studying it in your English A-levels, but there it is. And so I looked at this list and I thought, well, what can I talk about? And there was this crisp packet one, and I was like, well, I'm definitely no worse qualified than any of my other colleagues to talk about crisp packets, so I'll give it a go. So this is actually kind of me thinking aloud. I have given some, done a bit of preparation on this, but it is kind of me thinking aloud about what is potentially quite an interesting question about what A-levels are, what education is, what academics are trying to do in relation to the world through the medium of the crisp packet. I went for Walker's here because it seems to me that that's the kind of most iconic British crisp brand. No idea what it'd be like if we went over the pond. I'm focusing on UK crisps today. And of course in the UK we call them crisps, right? Not, say, chips or potato chips. So immediately there's a kind of linguistic thing going on here. We can actually kind of detect region and identity through this kind of crisp packet. So it says me Walker's crisps. I'm going to think a bit more about crisps themselves in a minute. But before I actually start looking at like packets of crisps of various different manufacturers, I'd like to just kind of step back and think about kind of how I kind of first responded to this problem. Where do I want to begin? Yeah, crisp packets, right? I guess part of what's provocative about this question, this crisp packet question, is that for us, the idea of the crisp packet is like so tightly identified with low culture, with bad diets, probably working class or kind of chavvy culture. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this is necessarily true, but these are just associations that are kind of doing the rounds. The crisp packet is the bane of every head teacher's life because they get scattered in the playground